Hey everybody, and welcome back to Dreamland. If you missed last episode, you're missing out on a ton of starter farms, a few small builds here and there, a whole dragon fight, and even a shulker farm, so you should probably go watch that. But anyway, this episode's going to be just as packed, so let's go ahead and get right into it. As you already know, I'm turning Spawn into a mushroom kingdom, so I'm going to need a whole lot of these bad boys right here. And not for this block, but for this block. And for that, I gotta take to the internet. And in my research, I found an amazing tutorial by Sliced Lime, and I'll leave a link to that in the description below. It basically grows a mushroom every few seconds, pushes the stem blocks out of the way into a collection area, and then uses the red mushroom blocks, breaks them down into red mushrooms, and gives them back to the player so I can continue to grow them, keeping up the process. Pretty ingenious stuff here, and the perfect farm to help us build Dreamland. Speaking of building Dreamland, I'd like to welcome you the first giant mushrooms of our village, and most likely to be the Grand Library once I do a little work on the interior. We'll be back here later to do a little more work on Spawn, but for now, there's more farms to build, and for this one, we need to go to the Nether. So you see, our closest Nether fortress has two blaze spawners side by side, perfect for a farm and an opportunity that I refuse to miss. But first, I gotta box these puppies up. And then using lava, we can filter all the blaze into our kill chamber, just in time for me to mend some of my tools. So as it currently stands, the farm is just two big, ugly dirt boxes, and I'm gonna decorate them, but in order to get the blocks I need, I gotta build a gold farm. So I'm off to gather materials to knock out another big project. I've had to build so many gold farms in the past that I think magma blocks are actually my favorite block to mine. Go ahead and tell me your favorite blocks to mine in the comments. Huge shout out to this guy for showing me where all the magma's at. But magma blocks aren't the only thing I need. There's a lot of hoppers and a lot of chests involved in the storage system, so I'm going to use the tree farm for a bit and get as many logs as I can. And by far the hardest thing on this material list to get was a single wither rose. I was really nervous going into this fight, but it was all for nothing. The whole thing lasted less than 2 minutes. Once I finally had all the materials, it was time to get building. I followed a RaiseWorks tutorial for this gold farm. Again, I'll leave all links to any farms I show off in this video down in the description below. This farm works using entity cramming, and it even has a piglin there to automatically barter your gold ingots. And because of that piglin, I need a very big auto sorter for a very big variety of items. Well, it took a long time, but we finally got everything we need. And as you can tell, I've been AFK for quite some time. But I think I'm going to keep it at that number. I think we're going to stay Mr. 1000 for as long as we possibly can. But I also have a ton of extra blocks and supplies from the bartering system of this farm, and we're ready to go build the Blaze Farm. So let's get into it. After doing the math, I placed almost 3,000 gold blocks, and I also had to rebuild part of the fortress so that there would be a path all the way around the blaze head. And here you can see part of my process, where I've already placed all the blocks that I'm going to need, and now I can go back and add the texture to each side individually. There's still a lot of work I could add to this project. I'd like to come back in the future and maybe add the floaty bits around the blaze, and possibly even transform the fortress one day. Alright, well that's another big project down, and I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready to get out of the nether. So let's head back to the overworld and do some more work on spawn. Now I'd like to focus on the farming area, and the first thing I should do is move a couple of villagers over into these houses. Now we could put a little roof on top and start decorating the outside. Up until now, this is what our flower shop has looked like, and today, we're finally going to upgrade it. And this guy right here is just going to watch, and not cause any destruction whatsoever. Right? Right. I also went ahead and decorated world spawn a little, and that lectern you see right behind me, well, that's where the player begins their long journey. That's where this adventure begins. And from that one book, they'll discover the library and all the villager homes with books that may lead them all over the world on amazing adventures. They'll find loot chests, they'll fight bosses, they'll discover everything the world has to offer. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. I really like how Dreamland is starting to take shape, and I hope you do too. If you like what you saw, like, comment, and subscribe, and until next time, have a good night.